Can we talk about the word acceptance? I think the word acceptance sometimes gets a bad rap. I hear people define acceptance as complacency. Um, I hear people, when they hear the word acceptance, they think of failure, and not moving forward, or they think about acceptance and people will go, well, that's just the way it's supposed to be, and I've just got to accept that. So there's all kind of different definitions when people talk about acceptance. And, for me, acceptance is just defining, how I view something, a situation, and deciding what I'm going to do with it. Because if I don't do something with it, then it just sits there, right? It just sits out there. So I'll give an example. So I had an exam that I took. I took twice, and it was an optional exam, but it was going to speed up the process of something for me. And I missed it by a few points the first time, and I failed it miserably the second time. So I'm sitting there with this, right? So what do I do with this? I could take it a third time, or I could say, nope, twice is enough. I could start placing blame, laying some kind of blame, uh, blaming myself, saying, well, I should have studied harder, or saying, well, the test was too hard, and it was unfair. But from an acceptance standpoint, I just accept that I didn't pass the exam. That's just all there is to it. I just didn't pass. And really, there's no blame to be placed. I studied for the exam as well as I could study for anything, and I just didn't pass it. And that's just it. So, I have to take that and I have to ask, okay, what are the consequences of that? The consequences are that something that I want to do is not going to move forward as fast as I would want it to, right? I'm going to have to wait a little longer. And I have to ask myself, am I okay with that? And the answer is yes. So, when we look at different scenarios that we deal with every day, and we talk about acceptance, to me, it's just deciding on what to do with something and looking at it and asking myself, can I do anything else with this? What are the possible outcomes of it? The consequences, if there are any? And can I, live with the decision? Not everything when it's centered around acceptance, not everything has to be about right or wrong, or defining it, or placing blame, or making it good or bad. Sometimes it just is what it is. And I've done so many videos on, like, maintaining peace of mind and being in a good place in life and seeing the big picture, which is moving forward and living life, from a standpoint of ease and comfort, and having joy and peace in my life, and just kind of moving through the day. And acceptance helps me do that, because I have to understand how to look at a situation and what to do with it, and what the ramifications are of that, what are the consequences, what are the outcomes, and then do something with it. And just like in this example, I took the exam twice, I studied for it twice, I didn't pass it, and that's it. I mean, I'm not a failure. I'm I'm not stupid. Um, it just is what it is. And if I decide that, hey, I'm not going to take it a third time, that's not being a quitter. So, I'm not going to be hard on myself and go, well, you're just being a quitter. No, I mean, there's no sense in taking it three times. It would be a mute point at that. It's just not going to do what I need it to do. So there's just no need in moving forward with that. I'm not going to blame myself. I mean, I don't think I'm a stupid guy. I mean, I have to look back and see all the accomplishments I've had academically and otherwise, and can answer the question that I'm not a stupid person. So that doesn't apply. So I'm just going to leave it at that, right? And that makes me feel good about myself and about my decision, that I can just accept this and just move forward with it. And that's what we have to do sometimes with acceptance. It's not complacency. It's not placing blame. It's not being a quitter. It's just deciding what I need to do with something and how it's going to work for me, how I can live with it with still ease and comfort, and just keep moving on. Hope that helps.